We have seen what computers and automation have done to particular industries or even different professions. This has only just begun. We have watched new technology come on board in order to replace the old, trying to increase productivity along the way, all in the name of increasing corporate profits, quarter after quarter. You came here for the truth. Today we are going to look at this issue, and then I want to connect that in with the Fed. Amazon is rolling out pickup points in the United States where shoppers can retrieve items immediately after ordering them, shortening delivery times from hours to minutes. Essentially, they've set up these brick and mortar locations in 5 college campuses, one being the University of California, and this is directed towards fast-selling items. So you're not going to be able to order everything that Amazon has, but things like snacks and drinks. So people can walk in, they can grab what they need. So you order on your app, you walk in, there are lockers in there, you punch in your code, you get what you need, you walk out. So no longer do you need to speak to a cashier or have any human involvement. You will simply utilize these automated systems. No cashier needed, no human interaction whatsoever. That's the goal. That's what they're trying to set up. And you can see that Amazon is getting more and more into the food, and with the purchase of Whole Foods, for example. And you'll see that they've suggested that they're not going to replace the cashiers just yet. But if you look around, many of these supermarkets already have the self-checkout, which never works, by the way, self-checkout systems in order to reduce the need for cashiers. It's just one small step. But there are millions and millions of cashiers in the United States alone, and these people rely on these jobs. But I do see automation such as this replacing a very large percentage of them. Now, does that mean that the corner store around your street is going to be replaced by automation? Probably not anytime soon, but it's happening faster and faster. And I assure you, if the owner of a particular store could implement something like this, where they don't even need a human to be involved at all, and they could do so relatively cheaply, they probably will. A lot of these convenience stores are franchises, and they could probably implement something like this on a broad scale. That's just something I've thought about. This is what Amazon is pushing for. This is what all the big billionaire companies are pushing for, and we can see it happening every single day. The suburban shopping malls that hollowed out main streets in the 1970s and 80s have increasingly become hollow shells themselves. More closures expected. Headlines about America's most recognized brands. Look at this. Sears, Macy's, Radio Shack, Payless Shoes have been dominated by store closings and bankruptcies. Credit Suisse has projected that 8,600 stores will close in 2017 alone, easily surpassing the rate of closures during the Great Recession. So already we are past that level. Now, is technology much better than it was 10 years ago? Perhaps it's better. There's a lot more automation. We can see what's happened with simple apps on our phones, and you can see that there are many more services available. But let's be realistic. Not much has changed in terms of the way that we live our lives. However, I think that a lot of these store closures are in fact to do with the difference in technology. People are definitely more comfortable using online stores and ordering online. However, I simply don't factor in all of these stores closing because of that. We have a much bigger picture to look at here, and is that the general economy isn't doing well. People are really unable to afford the things that they need, and they need to look for cheaper and cheaper deals. We see people going more online. That is a fact. But let me get into another point. Just hang on there for a moment here. Look at this. Billionaire entrepreneur Richard Branson is the latest in a string of iconic businessmen to talk about cash handouts or universal basic income, something that I've brought up many times before, as a solution to the jobs being replaced by technology. Okay, I'll give my opinion in a moment. Just let me do this. With the acceleration of artificial intelligence and other new technology, the world is changing fast. A lot of exciting new innovations are going to be created, which will generate a lot of opportunities and a lot of wealth. But there's a real danger. It could also reduce the amount of jobs. And I completely agree with that. And it's not a danger. I mean, that's the way it is. It will replace jobs. But there are individuals who are creating these robots, creating these automated programs and everything else. So that's new jobs. However, I think the total amount of jobs will be reduced. That's my opinion on this. You can say what you like. So essentially, Branson is just one of many. He's actually late to the game because we've seen other individuals out there like Ray Kurzweil. Ray Kurzweil, famous for some things I won't mention on this video, freaky stuff, co-founder of the Singularity University. And essentially he said he wants a UBI to cover the basic necessities. You'll do something that you enjoy, that you have a passion for. Why don't we just call that work? So he's saying that, look, everybody's going to get a lot of money. No need to worry about what you do. Just enjoy it. You can make significantly less because don't worry, the government's going to give you money. This doesn't work. If this was a fact, why wouldn't they just give everybody millions and millions of dollars? If the central banks printing money, giving it to people, does not create inflation, does not destroy the wealth of people, does not destroy the entire economy, why wouldn't we just give millions of dollars to everybody? Of course. Doesn't work like that. They try to balance it, that's for sure, but they don't do a good job of that. All right. This is the Fed. I love the Fed. They give me a lot of material to talk about. Now, the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco is talking about jobs. This is about their most recent meeting, in fact. They talk in this article here a lot of lying, a lot of, as far as I'm considered, it's fake information. Aggregate wage measures remain low because the baby boomers are retiring. In this view, older, high-wage workers are being replaced by younger workers who make less simply because they're in an early stage in their careers. That is holding down measures of the average wages, but individual workers may still be seeing healthier wage growth. Are you sure about that? Is this the Fed that said this? I've shown you the statistics that individuals today earn less in a new position than they did years ago. They do not earn the same amount that they did back then. And I'm talking about using consistent numbers, of course. You're not going to be able to get around that because of the fact that the type of jobs that are available today are much different. We are seeing a lot of low-paying jobs that are growing, and a lot of high-paying jobs are not really being put out there as much as we see the low-paying jobs. We're seeing a lot of temporary work. We are seeing a growth, massive growth in temporary workers. Look at companies like Uber Eats does some on their own. We see a lot of these food delivery, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing that we have these services. It's great. However, we are seeing people that really want other jobs, but they have to take these jobs. So what's happening? Where are all the higher paying jobs? People don't want to have to take on a second job. That's where the numbers get skewed as well. You're seeing people 2 and 3 jobs. That affects the numbers to a great degree. People don't realize that. Sure, the jobs numbers are up, but not in reality. LA County leaders greenlight effort to pay homeowners to house the homeless. The problem has become so bad in LA and other areas where the weather is better because they can live outdoors much more easy. However, look at this. This shows you that the public is realizing there's a problem. The government's responding, and instead of forking out cash directly to create facilities, they simply pay people. The problem is continuing to worsen. It's something that I always cover, but nobody cares. Nobody cares about the homeless, and nobody seems to want to look at it. Just look away, just look away. Toronto's problem, and I should do an entire video about this. Just quickly, on the corner of Yonge and King Street in Toronto, okay, right in the financial sector, you're seeing the big banks, everybody's there. That's where a lot of the wealth is concentrated. You see your Bentleys, your Rolls Royce, you see your Teslas, you see your every luxury car imaginable driving by here. And on that corner, on one day, the last time I walked by that location, 4 corners, 4 homeless people. That's what we have. We have a grand disparity which has been clearly shown. And if you go to that corner, and I'm sure every city has the same thing, where you have the wealth driving by in their fancy cars, at the same time you have the poorest of the poor sleeping on the side of the road. That's what I see. I'm willing to admit it. If you found this video informative, please give me a thumbs up and support me in any way you can. I appreciate that very much. Simply giving me a thumbs up, subscribing, and commenting is so helpful to me, and I do appreciate that. If you found these videos informative, I know you'll find my books, The Money GPS, and my newer release, Global Economic Collapse, even more informative. The first book is about the 4 asset classes and how to profit from them, whereas my new release is about reducing your monthly expenses, becoming self-sufficient in what I call the Money GPS strategy. You could take a look through these books at Amazon. Links are in the description below. Take care.